Leading off starts right now. Welcome in, everybody. I am Chris Welsh. Thank you for hanging out with us over on Fantasy Pros. Joining me today is the one, the only KC Bubba in the house. Bubba, what's up, brother?
Not much, my friend. Thanks for having me back once again. Going to be a fun Thursday of baseball talk. As this is a day for you. It feels like a lot of good stuff in your neck of the woods. So some fun stuff to talk about.
Not just Diamondbacks, but lots of prospect talk out there. Trevor Rogers, wonky can feel good. Trevor Rogers did actually pitch like a pitcher again, going six, striking out five, giving up only one earned run. So there you go. There's some happiness, and there's lots of fun prospect talk that we can get to, like Gunnar Henderson doing a little bit of a thing. Like, oh, I don't know, a home run with the, you see that hair come out
I
there?
was about to
But
say, you want to make a man jealous. I can't tell if it's the home run because he's a professional ball player or just the locks, the flow. It was like Fabio wished he could be a baseball player.
it was like someone's got to just do like a slow-mo video because as the helmet came out, it was like da da da. The blonde hair just flows out. The helmet fell off as he crushed a homer in his first one. Goes around the bases. I mean, is the bald a choice? Is it by choice or is it by necessity, Bubba? Because how deep is the jealousy for Gunnar Henderson?
So we're going here this early in the morning, huh? Okay, I got you. No, it's
Yeah.
it's both. No, it's a necessity because otherwise I'd look like Hulk Hogan minus the skullet part.
Oh, brother. All right, brother. That's
Yeah,
very good. I like that.
yeah.
Gunnar did go 2 for 4, living up to kind of the big prospect prowess. You know, him and Corbin Carroll, the top two guys, they've been doing it. And they've been, I mean, obviously, Gunner's only done it in one game. Corbin has done it over a couple games. And some good early performance you're getting from some of the young guys. So the question is usually yes. You know, should I cut? So yes, probably is going to be pretty easy. And Gunnar was brought up one day before the cutoff, so he is postseason eligible. So if the Orioles were to make it, he can further his mystique and the allure of the legend, if you will, of Gunnar Henderson. He can do that thing. So get him out there. He's probably going to play multiple positions. Probably not going to help for next year as far as position eligibility. You know, there's a cool video that was out there when he got the call up where the manager in AAA was kind of like, all right, you know, hey, we were going to have you play second these 2 days. We're going to have you play first. And now you're not because you're going into the majors. But it also proves how much they've been moving him around and where he can move around in the lineup. You're probably not going to get a ton of that flexibility this year where he's going to become eligible unless you play in Yahoo, which, you know, by next week you might have 12 different positions. But next year, you know, maybe he could be a little Jose Miranda with 2 or 3 other position eligibilities, bub.
Which would be pretty darn sweet. I'd be a big fan of that. He's just showcasing the goods out the gate. He's been amazing this year. So I'm always a sucker for positional eligibility. Some people think it's overrated. I think it's tremendous, and I'll be all over that. Before we go to the next topic, though, you mentioned Corbin Carroll, and I have to ask, they sat him versus a lefty yesterday. Is this going to be a thing?
I don't know if it's going to be a big thing. The game before, I believe, was a lefty as well, and they didn't sit him. If I'm
Okay.
remembering correctly, one of the first 2 games was against a lefty. They'll probably sit him a little bit because they've got a glut of outfield guys. I mean, I think that should be kind of expected. McCarthy has been on a freaking
Yep.
tear. Alec is good. Stone Garrett has even looked pretty solid. I don't think he's going to sit every single time. I don't think it's a platoon or anything like that. I just don't think they're going to overwhelm him. And, you know, they're going to manage the at bat still. You know, they're not going to make him put, I don't think they want to push it up to like 120 or anything like that, you know, right up to the edge. You never know what's going to happen in a game. So, I don't think so, but I know there was a lot of online chatter yesterday about like, you know, Corbin sitting and watch these rookies sitting against, you know, the opposite pitcher or anything like that. I just don't think it'll be crazy. But would that change your approach in valuing him the rest of this year if you had picked him up? If you're only going to get
No,
him versus righties?
I'm still going to want him quite a bit. The only time it'll stink is probably when he plays the Dodgers because it seems like all they have are lefties.
Hmm.
But pretty much any other series, you're going to be just fine. So it's not going to change my thoughts there. You're getting power, you're getting speed. Even like 4 or 5 games at Carroll could give you a couple bags each week, and who knows what other counting stats with it.
I'll watch. You know, one thing I would wonder is if also a part of it is not just about the lefty, because Wonky with some snide in the voice talks about how it was against Falter, and you can't just sit anybody. You can't play anybody against Falter. Snark aside, in that I would point out that this is a guy that has played the entirety of the year. You're into September, a time that these guys usually aren't playing. these team like the team like the Diamondbacks, they're kind of seeing everybody. They're going to play them most days. They might just be giving him a random day. It might not necessarily be about the matchup. Could be wrong. It could be another lefty they sit him towards. But I don't think they want him to go every single game and press him. I think they just want to ease it kind of in. And they got to get at bats for McCarthy. I think they want to see what they have in everybody. Yeah. We know that Carroll and Thomas are the outfield next year. They've got to make a decision on how they're going to approach a guy like Varsho, continuing him in the outfield or catching or DHing next season, and what you have with McCarthy and everything like that. So I'm not reading too much into it, but we'll know, on the next lefty that the Diamondbacks are facing. The new rookies performing at these high levels is super exciting. The old rookies not performing whatsoever is still a little bit depressing, because this was a reminder of it. Spencer Torkelson was recalled on September 1st. Rosters are expanding today, so we're up to, I believe it's 28.
28,
yeah. That's the number. Yep. And Spencer Torkelson, coming up from AAA, where he's been for, what has it been, like 2 months?
It's been a long time. I almost forgot what he looked like.
Yeah, you almost forget all about him. From ASU, Spencer Torkelson, so far this season in AAA, let's take a look, has beep.
It's not
hit
great.
229 with 5 homers, a stolen base, a 348 OBP, has 30 hits and 131 at bats. I just don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, Bubba. He completely fell off. I'm not looking to pick him up right now whatsoever. I think in Dynasty, he's interesting as like a super, super low buy. I think people are really upset about it and out. I don't know if I would be totally, but I have zero interest right now for this season. I'm not picking him up.
Yeah, 100% with you. I'm not even going near him. Like, it was sad because we were all excited at the beginning of the year that he's starting with the team. Everyone's all into it. And when I heard the news yesterday that he's coming up, I'm like, yeah, good. Hopefully he does well. Good for him. Like, do something. Like that meme where you poke the thing, do something. But I'm not going crazy for him.
Nope. I would go and pick up Miguel Vargas. Miguel Vargas, the Dodgers recalled. I hope they don't just have him sitting, sitting around.
I'm concerned about that.
Yeah, and it's a possibility that he could just be sitting majority of the time. I mean, the playoffs in the minor leagues are kind of coming to an end, or at the end of the season, at least it is. And they bring him up. I expect them to give him a little bit of run. And this is a prospect I'm heavily in. Like, it's not quite Gunnar Henderson, Corbin Carroll, but it's like 1B. I like Miguel Vargas that much. He's that much of a bat on as far as how he gets on base, doesn't strike out a ton, makes tons of contact. He had a successful first run that then he just got pushed down to AAA. And I'm really, really hoping, I would be interested in a little bit of a pickup that he's going to get some time playing.
Yeah, no, I hope he plays every day. Maybe it could be they just start resting guys because they've already pretty much locked up the West, and he just has a utility type role potentially and moves around the diamond. Justin Turner could always use extra time off. He could DH. The bat's awesome. So, yeah, if he plays a lot, it's a great move. I'm just concerned about playing time.
Remember that thing where Dave Roberts was like, hey, we're going to just sit Cody Bellinger a whole bunch and get him some time. That hasn't happened. Like, what happened to that? This really would be a great time for that. They're like, let him sit for a bit, get right or whatever, get Miguel Vargas in. He's not going to be eligible, I guess, for the postseason because he's coming up today.
Didn't he come up before, though? Does that count or no?
I don't know. Did he get the official call up? Was it yesterday?
No, but I mean, didn't he come up like a couple weeks back?
Ooh. That's a good question. Yeah, he did already make a.
He played like a week or so before I got sent back down.
So I guess he would be eligible.
See, I don't know how that works either. Does he have to be? Does he have to be actively on the roster before the first, or just be called up before the first?
That's a really good point. I'm not.
That's what I'm here for,
because he technically did have major league time earlier in the year and got called back up. But I don't. I kind of feel like it's a. My gut is going to say you had to be on the active roster before September 31st. To be eligible for the playoffs. But
that's fair. Hey, chat, you got something to do for 20 minutes. Figure it out.
Yeah. Someone let us know. Another rookie, Michael Toglia, Silent G. I talked about this in the in the AFL because it was one of those things where everyone was like Toglia, but the announcers were saying Toglia, and you officially heard it. So if you were thinking of him, Mike Toglia with the Colorado Rockies went 2 for 4 in his debut with a 2-run home run. First in the bigs. This was on Wednesday as a loss, and I believe it was in the 9th inning he hit that home run. And Toglia got a lot more of swing and miss in his game. He's just a big old burly dude who crushes balls. He can hit them crazy far, but I don't think he's going to hit for high average. but he is going to get that little extra push being in Colorado. He actually reminds me of like a CJ Cron type. So he's not really a guy I'm interested in. If I were in like a points league or something and I was just looking for big boppers, maybe I would try to pick him up right now. Long term, maybe we would take a look at him, but I'm not the biggest Tolia guy. But he did hit a homer and he's looked pretty good so far.
Yeah, no, he does look good. You mentioned the power that he brings, and as bad as it is, Crone has been horrific on the road this year. So it could be a potential like a platoon situation with the lefty righties for the duration of the season. So something to think about going forward.
One I do like, Sable's Goggles just put this out. The guy I talked about at the trade deadline, Spencer Steer. I'm a Spencer Steer guy, and I thought he was going to get a lot of early run. He did not. They sent him to the minors, and he got a call up today. That would be a guy I would take a look at if I'm looking for some shortstop. You know, they were putting Farmer over there. The round 12 of Jose Barrero is just not working out, the experiment of Jose Barrero. So I'm hopeful that we're going to get to see some run from Spencer Steer. And, you know, it depends your league. If you're like a deeper league or you got a big bench or you're dealing with like, you know, injured players, like I'm not going to run and he's not a must pick up, but I'd be watching Spencer Steer because I think there's some solid power in there. There's good contact. I think he put up some offensive stats I would be doing. And then another rookie, Ken Waldichuk, going to make his Oakland debut versus the Nationals. So tons of prospects around the world. Not that you wouldn't expect them to. It's September 1st. This is kind of the time, whether it was a playoff move or not, but rosters have expanded and you're going to be seeing some of these dudes, Bubs. You're going to be seeing some of these dudes for sure.
It's good to see. It's good to see. Hopefully, we see even more. It's there's so much good talent, and someone even said, I think it was Mike Mayer actually said the other day that all these young players, it's a tip of the cap to the new CBA. So we're getting some fun there.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, there's still a little bit of manipulation, but to the point, like not seeing it at the front and giving an incentive to next year is pushing teams to want to at least get a look. See, that's kind of the weird inverse of this. Like, they won't bring them up in August so they can make sure they control the at-bat so they're good for next year. But if they're going to break camp, I think they want to get them a little bit of run, and that's why you're seeing Carroll and Henderson getting a little bit of major league run so they can manipulate it into next year. Sure. A big scare that we were dealing with was Shane McClanahan. Shane McClanahan was placed on the 15-day IL, and that was about, as noted here by Wonky, about 10 seconds after we ended leading off yesterday. He was placed on the IL. We were a little bit optimistic from the words and from his words. The optimism here is that he is not like Tommy John. The pessimism is he's on the IL, and I don't know if we really have any indication if this will be extended beyond the 15-day IL. And if it is, this is going to destroy fantasy owners because McClanahan had a chance to be like a league winner this year.
And then the reports came out that he got a cortisone shot in his shoulder. So that's usually at least a week of pretty much doing nothing. So, yeah, we'll have to see how that one heals up. It's not good. Doesn't sound good to me.
No, it doesn't sound good. I'm not optimistic about the rest of this year, maybe in the playoffs. So your fantasy playoffs, I think you are a little screwed, unfortunately. Yeah. Some other injury notes. Luis Robert remains out of the lineup on Thursday. No bueno. This is kind of like apropos.
Rinse and repeat.
Point. Yeah, rinse and repeat. Salvador Perez-Salvi was scratched from Wednesday's lineup and is tentatively expected back today. So let's watch for that. John Birdie was removed from Wednesday's game due to right hip soreness, although stolen bases on the bench. Miguel Rojas was scratched from yesterday's lineup due to right wrist discomfort, and Anthony Rizzo was held out of the lineup due to some back issues. So this is definitely like the nagging injury time of the year where things are going to start flaring up. Although also the rosters are going to expand, so teams that are in the playoffs is not like it was before. You know, almost thank God. Do you miss at all the 40-man roster with all the guys? I can't imagine anyone does. There's not as much manipulation with only like 3 more spots added to a lineup where you're going to just start benching all of your vets, but you're going to see a little bit of it.
Yeah, I'm so much more in favor of this, even for fantasy purposes, because it was almost impossible to play September fantasy with all the call-ups because playing time was such a disaster. So big fan of this new move, and we still get to see half-decent baseball at least.
Yeah, and I think that was like one of the big catalysts to pushing the ending fantasy baseball in August movements. Bogman was pretty big about this for a long time, was making sure fantasy was done by August.
That's because he's so deep into football. He can't handle both. He's not a big enough man.
I agree with that. I definitely not a big enough man. I definitely agree with that. But I think it had to do more with the chaos that was.
Yeah, September. It's true. Joe Pisapia is the same way.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I'm not actually not against it because there's still going to be some manipulation. Because what you're going to see is this is going to be the time of year where you are going to have teams just, doing whatever they can to get some guys some extra rest, whether it is moving around in the minors, whether it is getting these extra call ups, extra playing time. Like Rizzo, like
Yeah.
not that Rizzo's like a catalyst to your fantasy team, but if Rizzo's getting extra time with back injuries, they're waiting for the playoffs. They need him for the playoffs, not this last month. They're not fighting to that degree, so you might get him a little bit less. So, just throwing
100%.
that out there.
Completely agree with that.
This day in baseball, this is a wonky piece. 1958, the Vinegar Ben Mizell of the St. Louis Cardinals set a National League record by walking 9. Oh, is this a name? No, Vinegar Ben Mizell. That
That's
must
got to be the dude's name.
Yeah, wow, his name was Vinegar. That's
It's
amazing.
got to be the nickname. It's got to be Ben Meisel. That his nickname's
Gotta be
Vinegar.
Bend. Yeah, Bend. Set a National League record by walking 9 batters and pitching a shutout. Meisel beat Cincinnati 1-0. Vinegar Bend Meisel. Oh, and here's his baseball almanac. Let's check. Oh yeah, look at it. Oh yeah, his name was Wilmer Meisel. Vinegar Bend.
Yeah, I go by
Meisel.
Vinegar Ben too.
Yeah, what a name. Vinegar Ben Meisel was born August 13th, 1930. Meisel was 21 years old when he broke into the big leagues on April 22nd. That's my birthday. Was not 1952, though, with the Cardinals. Is there anything about his nick? I want to know about the nickname. Where do you...
Wonky says that's the name. That's why it's on there.
His name is Vinegar Bend Meisel.
I would have loved to have been in that
amazing
locker room because I would have had jokes for days that are inappropriate for this show.
I mean, they probably didn't have those jokes back then. If we're
That's
being
true.
honest about that.
Let's just say one of my fantasy football team names in my home league is called Vinegar Strokes.
Yeah, I was about to say. I knew exactly where you were going with that. Vinegar Ben Meisel, all-time name. I got a trivia question for you. Gunnar Henderson hits a homer in his debut. Who was the last Orioles player to hit a homer in his MLB debut? This is the trivia question for the chat.
One.
And, Bubba can throw a little guess out there. But who's the last Oriole in their debut to hit a home run?
That's good. That's real good.
You got a guess?
I'm going to say Trey Boo, Trey Mancini, but I'm probably wrong. But that's the guy I'm going with. That's my guy.
You nailed it. You ruined it. Right up
Oh!
You nailed it. You got it. You know what I thought? I thought Wonky said Cal Ripken. I thought Matt Waiters was going to be the guess. I thought Matt Waiters was going to be like the number one guess or something like that. It was Trey Mancini. You're 100% right about it.
To Wonky's point, I want to know why Bend is there. I bet you he threw a heck of a curveball. Just going to throw it out there.
Oh, but so you think Bend was, I guess because Bend was like a middle nickname, something like that?
Yeah, I could see that.
Vinegar Ben. It's Vinegar Casey Bubba is in the house here. Trey Mancini, by the way, it was September 20th, 2016. So right at the end of the year, he had got a little bit of playing time, hit that homer September 20th, 2016. There you go. Just so you wanted to know.
Ballin'.
On the stat hero, Xander Bogaerts hit a homer with 5 RBIs. Also had a stolen base, little combo meal action for Xander. Brandon Marsh, 3 for 6, 3 RBIs, 2 runs. Lars Nootbaar with a combo meal, homer, and a stolen base.
And he didn't even start that game, by the way.
Yeah,
he came in late.
God, he's good.
So good.
So good. Abraham Toro, 2 for 3 with a homer, 2 RBIs. Altuve, 2 for 3 with a couple RBIs. Bryce Harper was 3 for 4 with an RBI and a couple runs against the Diamondbacks. John Birdie had a homer and a stolen base, combo meal. Yandy Diaz, a perfect 3 for 3. Eugenio Suarez, 2 for 4, a homer. And maybe the most impressive thing I've ever seen any baseball player do in the history of ever. Did you see the ball come in, bounce off of, I think it was the bat, and then it fell down and he kicked it midair and he did a double soccer kick and then he kicked it out of the field of play.
I
Did you not see
missed that one. That is impressive.
It was, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to find it because it was like, I keep thinking about it. I've thought about it for like 2 hours since I've seen it. And yeah, professional soccer. So the pitch comes in, it bounces off of his foot. And I'm going to post a link to this in the chat for everybody. This right here. This is the Twitter thing. And then, Bubba, you can check it out. I want to get your live reaction to this. There's in the private chat. Check that out. So the pitch comes in. As you can see, it hits off the bat, hits off his foot, bounces in the air. Eugenio Suarez then kicks it with his foot up, bounces it off his knee, bounces off his foot, and then kicks it off the field. Look at that play.
What in the world?
Is that incredible?
Wow.
That's the
Okay, that's
coolest thing I've
good.
ever seen. It's the coolest thing I've ever
He
seen.
he made more consecutive contact than he probably did in his entire career on that one.
He did 100% more. Yeah, that's the joke. More contact with his
I'm
leg.
here all day. I'm here all day.
It was beautiful. I'm trying to see who that was against too. I can't see, but I was
I
against the
already
Tiger.
I already
But
turned it off, but yeah,
yeah,
not sure.
amazing, amazing.
I know Daniel Norris came in last night, so it could have been him.
Maybe. Tolia 2 for 4 with a homer, and that ends out your big stat heroes. Eugenio Suarez wins the day though with that amazing kick. On the pitcher side, Jacob deGrom, 7 innings pitched. You never go with the under on deGrom. The algorithm for betting pros had 8.5 and take the under. He hit 9. You just can't do it. 9 is his number. Anything 8.5, you go over with him. 9.5 is the tough number. Lance Lynn had a rare good performance. 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, 4 hits with an earned run. Kyle Wright went 7, striking out 6. Anibal Sanchez went 7, striking out 4. And Patrick Sandoval went 7, striking out 7, giving up a couple earned runs. On your stat zeros, Bobby Dahlback 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. Kyle Farmer 0 for 6 with 3 Ks. Let's get Spencer Steer up here, who can play multiple positions. Kyle Farmer, I mentioned Kyle Farmer. Rafael Devers 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. Rowdy Tellez 0 for 5 with 3. Josh Bell 0 for 4 with 3. And Lane Thomas 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Tommy Henry with the Diamondbacks gave up 7 earned runs in 4. No bueno. Implied runs, remember that with Philly. Mitch White gave up 6 earned runs in 4 2/3, and Martin Perez 5 innings, 5 earned runs in 9 hits. Home run calls. We got to give a shout out to our boy Famous Amos for his Xander Bogaerts call to score the Andre Dawson bonus. I don't know if you saw this yesterday, Bubba. It was a Andre Dawson pick a homer from any of the last place teams. If you could do that, you were going to get extra bonus points, and he was able to do that. I properly killed enough time there to show you the home run leaderboard because I had not loaded it. Bam, there you go. D Blum with 49, Go Cards with 47, Hi Cubby with 47. That's your leaderboard. Little to no movement. El Skell got the only homer on top of the board with Nolan Arenado. We had a lot of goldies in there. Go Cards had Brian Reynolds for the bonus, but there was really just no movement whatsoever on the home run board, which all of our peoples are making all the home run calls over on the Discord on Fantasy Pro. So you guys can go and check that out. Friends, you know what time it is. It's Tiara time. BetMGM. How do we like the red diamond there, Bubba?
That is pretty. A little extra flair for a Thursday.
That's right. A little extra flair for the Thursday. That's right. If you guys use a promo code leading off when you download the BetMGM app, you can get a $1,000 risk-free bet. Promo code leading off. They support the podcast. Go and check them out. Go put the over on 8.5 strikeouts on Jacob deGrom whenever it's out there. Do it, Kings and Queens. This is a pretty good one. This might be my favorite one.
That's
I think
a good
the
one.
really pops for me. So thank you there. I should probably get a crown at some point. I don't know, right? Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. You got something going here. Don't go off brand.
Bit going. I got a little bit going. Yeah.
Don't go full WWE. Like, stay on brand.
I think people like it, but I don't think they all like it for the reasons.
The right reasons.
I got some bets for you. If you guys want to check it out, bettingpros.com. Check out the MLB prop cheat sheet. You can see all the stuff that they spit out. And I'm going to give you the top strikeout and total base play, and then the top money play for each of those. So on the pitching side, the number 1 play, Clayton Kershaw. He has been activated. He's going tonight. His number is 3.5 strikeouts. He's projected at 6. I don't know if the system is properly putting stuff together because 6 coming off of the injury might be a little bit high, but 3.5 for Clayton Kershaw. I don't think he's going to go 40 pitches. So I'm pretty about this, but it is juiced at -166. The top plus play is Logan Gilbert, 5.5 strikeouts against Detroit, and that is +110. So I kind of like that play. But Logan Gilbert can have those like 7-inning, 3 strikeout games, which is super frustrating. On the hitting side for total bases, Vaughn Grisham is the top play today. Grissom, apologies. -190 is the juice. You only need 1 base. That's it. That's all you need from him. So you're going to probably have to parlay that one. And the top, I cheated a little bit because I don't want to go like way down the list on a plus money when you did have an even play. And the even play is Matt Olson versus Colorado, 1.5 total bases. He's projected at almost 2.5. So Bubba, you've got Kershaw and Grissom, both pretty juiced, both very good numbers. Gilbert and Olson are your non-negative money plays. What out of these do you dig?
I don't mind parlaying the Kershaw and Grissom together and seeing what you can get out of that. I think there's a lot to like. Otherwise, I love that Matt Olson won Chad Kuhl on the bump for Colorado. Matty Olson. Wouldn't be shocked if we get at least one, if not more, extra base hits off that bat.
Did you say the Kershaw and Grisham parlay together?
I could see that, yeah.
I like that. I actually really like that one as well. Grissom was someone I was thinking about even in the home run contest today. So if you parlay those together, you'll probably get minus 180 maybe, or plus 180 or something like that, like plus 180, nice. 200, something like that. Yeah, so I think that would be a really good parlay. Low numbers. You need 1 hit and 4 strikeouts from Kershaw. Actually, you know what, Bubs? I really like that. I like that put together there. If you guys want to go and check out the DFS side, Bubba, do you have any DFS big plays for today? I didn't have any updates early on when I was doing this as far as some of the cash stuff. I still don't even see a bunch of the thing. I see Ken Waldachuk is at 6.6, Kershaw's at 10, Bassett's at 10.4, Bieber at 10.7 against Baltimore. I kind of dig, and we don't really have any implied run total numbers to give. But what do you like on the DFS side today?
Yeah, for the evening action, you got Woodruff and Bieber and Strider taking the bump. I think those are all phenomenal pay up spots, but don't sleep on Merrill Kelly. Want to throw that one out there?
Merrill.
He's been kind of decent against, and he'll get Milwaukee at home in Arizona, so he can be a little different that way. And if you're hitting, attack Glenado with Boston, and I don't mind some Cleveland Bats versus Bradish as well, and everyone will be on Atlanta. So really good spots there, and Otto is going to be a topic of conversation in a minute.
Okay, I like that. Well, getting to it, let's get to our home run calls. I didn't even realize that this game already started, so I think I'm going to have to pick a different home run call because my home run call is going to be Julio Rodriguez, and the game has already started. So
he walked in his first at bat, so you're good. You got a chance still.
I'll pivot. I'll play it nice. I'll pivot off of here. What do you got on your home run call?
I'm going to pick on Glenn Otto. Some massive negative regression should be coming his direction. And I'm going to go with one, Rafael Devers, to get off the schneid. Bad night last night. A little bit of a funk, but I think it's a good night to get Rafael back in action. So I'll go Rafael Devers.
I'm going to go Matt Olson. That was one of my original plays. I'll just go with Olson. I did like Julio, but the game has already started, so I will move away from that. And then who did we else have? We had Mayer has got Marcus Semien, and Wonky going with Dermis Garcia. So going deep into the bag.
Gutsy. I like it. I like it, Wonky.
Our boy Dr. Glenn said that I went 5 2/3, 2 earned runs. And he says, you come without a mustache, you don't get a quality start. Sorry, brother. If people don't know, obviously I had my beard going. We had a thing. We have this show, Is It the Wheel? Bogman and I do on our Twitch. And it's a wild show. And we had one called the Mustache Ride, where if you landed on it, you had to shave everything into a mustache. And Bogman landed on it to start the show. I landed on it to end the show. We live shaved it with our mustaches, and then when the show was over, immediately cleaned it up. So that is what he's talking about. So no mustache. But if you want to see it, twitch.tv/InThisLeague, you can see those mustaches. Quite the look, my friend. Quite the look. That is it. That is all that we've got. We've got one more show coming up the rest of this week. Bubba, what do you got going on? I know you got a packed day coming up here, and I think you got some baseball podcasting tonight, right?
Yeah, yesterday I did a bench with Bubba with Jamie Steed, a very funny guy from England. I'd recommend checking that out. And then on Thursday night, as you're listening to this, I'll have Bubba in the Bloom, Ryan Bloomfield joining me again as usual. So come check out all that stuff, get your DFS action and much more. Just follow me on the Twitter at BDentric.
At BDentric. You can follow me on Twitter at IsItTheWelsh. Friendos, have a fantastic day. Make some money, whether you're playing DFS or gambling. Win some matchups for playoff runs. Let's make sure we do that. And then make sure you're tuned in here tomorrow for leading off, because we're here again. I'm the Welsh. That's Bubba. We're out of here. Goodbye, friends. Peace.